My name is Stéphanie Reed, and I'm 29 years old, born and raised Winnipegger. I work for a startup called Permission Click. So we do digital permission forms, online approvals for K-12, Winnipeg-based. A little bit of a cool Winnipeg success story, actually. And then in my spare time, I do dodgeball. I play dodgeball competitively. So that takes up a lot of my free time. I sit on the board there as well. So that would definitely be my hobby. Oh my gosh, so floating has impacted my life in so many ways. And it's interesting because every time I come for a different reason and I get something different out of it. And it's not always planned. Like I think sometimes I'm gonna come because I need to relax, and I always feel relaxed, but what happens in the tank is not always what I intended, but it's always really good and really beneficial. At the end of the day, it is super, super relaxing. So like key is no matter what happens for those 90 minutes, you come out feeling like you've been at the cabin for 3 days, right? You just come back with this like Zen feeling, everything's very calm. And it's funny actually to leave the building because everything feels so loud. It's really allowed me to be able to focus a lot more at work, to be able to take time for myself. It's a really great self-help and self-care, especially for somebody that's really busy like me, where I'm working really long days. I have hobbies that keep me really busy, and also hobbies that are very hard on my body physically because I'm a competitor and athlete. And so having that balance of something that takes care of my mind but also makes my body feel really good is super, super rare, and it's something I really appreciate. So for the 7-day challenge, I had come floating a few times, not as often as I had wanted to, but you know, life gets busy and we always put ourselves last. And I had it over that summer a bout of several fairly close, very stressful events that happened in my life. And so I just felt the need to like really recharge and just take a step back. And I did a bit of a mini staycation. And so I took a few days off work and I just needed to kind of just reset. And I came in and I just happened to see that you guys had the 7-day challenge when I came in just for a regular float. And I thought, well, I'm never ever gonna be able to commit to 7 days other than like literally this week right now. So it seemed like a really good opportunity to try it. I did not go like one every single day. I actually bundled them up and did a couple, like I didn't go back to back, but I would do one and then have a 2-hour break and then do another one a few days. And actually, I think that was probably the best thing that I could have done, because the first one kind of got me into that mindset. And then I was able to sit in this area that you guys have here, just process, do a little bit of journaling. And then the second one that I went in was where some like really cool things happened. So I definitely recommend it if you wanted to really see what floating is about, but you're worried about having time every single month to go. It's a really, really great thing to do to really kind of kickstart the experience for you. I definitely felt really good, like super relaxed, very happy that I did it. It was kind of weird because I felt like I'd built this like a routine of coming in every day or almost every day, and then all of a sudden that was like gone. I was almost like mourning this loss of floating on a regular basis. But emotionally, going every single day like that and then having a week off, it's crazy how much stronger or how much longer that relaxation lasts. Because if you go for one float and then, you know, it lasts a couple days and then life gets chaotic again. And when you go for 7 days in a row, it lasts twice as long. You know, it lasts for about 2 weeks, where I just felt like I was constantly still in that really like Zen state, and I was just really performing optimally, which was really nice. So for my very first time, when I first came in, I was lucky that Leah and Brad were actually both here. And it was really cool to have them just tell us, because I came in actually with my fiance, Sebastian, we came in together. And they kind of gave us the whole rundown of like why they did this and how much of an impact it's had for their life. They gave us a tour of the building as well. And to see their passion and their commitment for it also made me feel like this was really the right choice, especially this venue specifically, because they were doing it for the right reasons. You know, they're not here to get rich, they're here because they want to bring this to people and they believe so strongly in it, which really came out when we met with them. My first step in the tank, I definitely felt like it was interesting because I've never shut off for 90 minutes straight. Like I don't think anybody really has. And for somebody whose mind is always going, I mean, I'm not claustrophobic or anything like that, but there was definitely a first few minutes of sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do for 90 minutes? Like this is gonna be crazy, I'm gonna get bored. You know, there was like that typical kind of nervousness, but it went away right away. And the rest of the experience was just incredibly, incredibly relaxing. So I find that floating's really interesting because every single float has been different. You kind of go in with the expectation of like, I know what to expect a little bit more, right? But I've experienced something different in every single one of them, whether it's at the first few, I actually, to be honest, I think I'm pretty sure I fell asleep in a lot of them. But in the first few, which is just a sign that my body was just so overtired and overstressed that I just literally, that's what I needed, was sleeping. And sometimes I come in and that's what happens because I'm just super depleted of sleep, and that's okay. But there are other times I come in and I get like crazy amounts of thinking done, or I just have a really different experience, and it doesn't seem to be consistent. It's more consistent with what's happening in my life around me. If I'm super stressed about something, then sometimes I work through that. Or if I come right after a dodgeball game, then sometimes I'll replay it in my mind. But those things always come up very naturally. I don't kind of try to force them. So that's the biggest thing that I've learned, is that I guess when I first started, I was thinking, okay, I want to have this type of an experience and I'm going to try and push towards these types of thoughts. And you can't really control it that way. Like your mind is going to serve up whatever you actually need, not what you think you need, which is very different. I just stopped going in with intentions because I was like, I over-focused on them. And then half my float was spent like arguing with myself basically about like what I wanted to focus on. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that I had to learn from, when I first started to going more regularly, is that you can't force it. You just have to kind of just let yourself be, which is the whole mantra really. And just let your brain and your body just do what it needs to do, and you'll be happy with the experience. Everyone is amazing here. The staff at this place they're incredible. Obviously, Leah and Brad, great passion that they have, and that I think exudes onto the people that they pick to work here as well. So the people that are here are always very calming, very friendly, very easy to talk to. I also think what's unique is that they're very good at understanding, like, sometimes you really want to chat and sometimes you just need to like sit in a corner and read by yourself, and they seem to pick up on that really well, which is really, really nice. But it's a really amazing community. Everyone's always super friendly, and I think that the staff here really exudes everything that Float.Calm stands for, which is nice and rare to see in companies. It's really interesting because that's actually trying to describe floating to somebody that has never done it before is something that has been coming up a lot lately, just because my friends know that I do it, and then especially with dodgeball becoming more competitive and everyone talks about their body being sore. And everyone knows that if you put Epsom salts in bath water, that's a really good way to ease the pain and muscle soreness. Well, this is basically that on steroids, right? So I've been talking about it a lot more and trying to explain it to them. And it's really one of those things that's really hard to explain because you don't want to lead someone too much into one direction and again, give them this expectation that this is what you will experience. And then they focus so much on that they don't get the experience that they want. So I've tried to be which is weird because I like to talk a lot, so it's hard for me to not share it, but it really is one of those things that you have to come in and experience for yourself. I'll always tell people you won't regret it. It's going to be really, really relaxing, like the most relaxing experience you've had in a very long time. You're gonna come out feeling incredible. You'll feel incredible for a couple of days. So it's always going to live up to that. No matter what happens in that tank, those things are always going to be true. But everything else is a very unique experience, and what they get might be very different than what I get. So I just try to prepare them for having a really amazing, relaxing experience. They're gonna love it, and you just gotta give it a shot and find out for yourself. I do have friends that have asked me, like, if they're claustrophobic. They've asked about that a lot, and I'll always tell them, you can leave the tank a little bit open. So, like, I think that they've done a really good job here of helping people if they have those fears of, like, what if I need to get out? What if I feel like it's too long? What if I'm afraid of the dark? Like, whatever those cases are, you guys have corrected for a lot of those so that people can try it. But at the end of the day, I mean, how do you tell someone what a massage feels like? You can't, right? Like, they have to just go for a massage and they're gonna figure it out. And if you have knots in your back and I don't, it's going to feel different for you than it is for me, right? So that's, I think, a really good comparison is you just like a massage or just like your first yoga class, you really don't know what it's gonna be like till you try it.